mastery. I'm just going to check my sound real quick because it's not nice when you don't have sound. You know what I'm saying? Um, so we're going to talk today about leaning on your gift. We touched upon it the other day. Um, and today I'm going to get more in depth about leaning on your gift. Oh, they put that live up there. Okay, we've got sound. Awesome. You always have to check sound because even with StreamYard, you could have a problem, and then you do a whole broadcast, and then you go to see it. You're excited to see it, and there's like no sound. Okay, guys, let's talk on camera. Today we're going to talk about leaning on your gift because leaning on your gift is a place where it's bliss. It really is. And I've leaned on my gift and then created a whole career out of it. As you well know, some of you guys know, I'm a former broadcaster. I work with MTV, Access Hollywood, um, Entertainment Tonight, and lots of other programs. I was a host and an actress, did a lot of acting, 6 Feet Under, Queen King of Queens, just a ton of stuff. If you can go on IMDb and check that stuff out. And I know a little something about storytelling and on camera visibility. Tomorrow is Internal Fridays, and we're going to talk about all the internal stuff you need to be visible and on camera. But today we're going to talk about leaning on your gift. I really leaned on my gift my entire career. And I'm going to show you if you're not leaning on your gift, if you've been living that life of really being afraid to lean on your gift, to really step into your greatness, I'm going to tell you how to do it today and why you shouldn't lean on fear. The other side of leaning on your gift is living in fear, living in destitute, living in below the radar, with surrounded by people that don't support you, surrounded. It's really just an uncomfortable place to live in. Where leaning on your gift, hey Marvin, so nice to see you. Leaning on your gift, and we did that. Marvin, you did too. Thanks for coming by. Uh, when you lean on your gift, you are in the zone. You feel like you're in the zone. Do I have that? Let me see if I have a thing that's saying that I'm in the zone. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you're living in the zone, you're living in bliss, and then you have this thing called flow. It's really important whether you're going into an on camera career that you have flow. Speaking an on camera career, I am going to be launching a podcast program. Launch your podcast. It's going to be an interview technique program. And because there's two things that make a podcast great, and that's your questions and your guests. Those are the two main things that you have to focus on to make a podcast great. The rest is just content strategy. It's mostly content strategy. The content is the most important. And then the rest is just equipment and flow and procedures. But there are a lot of them. And in order to launch your podcast, you want a coach right next to you to really work out all the kinks, naming your podcast, creating the content schedule, creating the episode schedule, getting the right equipment, getting the right on-air stuff, getting to the right platforms. And everyone is different. So your platform may not be someone else's platform. If you're interested in that, I am finding 6 people to sign for the next 3 months. We'll go into the holidays and we'll spill into January when I'm going to launch it in the middle of January or early February, where it'll be twice the price it is in the beta program. It's going to be affordable. You can get, if you're interested, please go to my website. And I'm going to show you my website. There is a handout there, speaking of interviewing and doing podcasts. This handout that I have when you sign up to my email list is really cool because it's a video, as you can see. Let me stop the video here. Let me make this screen a little bigger. So as you see, my next guest booking planner is what I have as a handout on my website. So if you're interested in hosting, being podcast, being more visible, being in front of the camera, interviews are the way to do it because you get to book people, you're not the front and center, and it's a really good way to ease into podcasting and into just being visible and on camera. If you're interested in that, go to my website. You can sign up to my next guest booking planner and get my next guest. It's called My Next Guest Booking Planner. it's cute. My next guest. 10 steps to booking great guests for your podcast because it's really not easy to do. It's easy to say. Well, obviously, it's not easy to say for me, but it's easier said than done, right? So it's very, very difficult actually to launch, to get in front of the camera and launch with a podcast. So interviews are a great way to get in. You just, you book the interviews. There is a rabbit hole, so you want a coach with you. I'm going to be super affordable. It's a monthly program. It's going to be a 3-month program. If you want to get in now, I'm just going to do 6 people. I already created the program, and I just want to work out a few kinks and get some testimonials from you. And also, you'll have it for half price. Very, very affordable, in my opinion, compared to what it'll be in January. So my next guest booking planner is what you will get. It is a video. As you can see, it's a video. And instead of being a handout, it's kind of a video presentation. Hold on a second, guys. Let me exit to full screen. It's like a little video presentation. So you can stop it whenever you want. You start it there. And then you can stop, take notes. Then so it's 10 steps to booking great guests. Then you can take notes. This is the first page. It's the first 30 shows. The first 30 shows that you're going to do is really kind of just practice. So you don't want to like book a celebrity or anything like that. Then I go into booking interesting personalities and how to do it. There's a lot of rabbit holes. So I would hold your hand every step of the way. It's important if you don't get me as a coach, get somebody as a coach, because there's a lot of little rabbit holes. But you can launch in 3 months, in 90 days. You can launch in 90 days. I'm going to do a preset program. This is a pre-sale. I only want to do 6 people, and then I'm going to close it after that. And then I'm launching in January. I'll do like 20 people. So this first second, so you can stop this video anytime you want, take notes, booking interesting personalities, and then booking celebrities. So you want to do your first couple, all your first shows with friends and family and things like that. So it's going and it's showing you how to book on these things. You want to keep going. And it's like kind of video. So you stop it, you take notes, and you read it. So my next guest planner, it's a 10-step program. Like the first one you see, it's make your guest wish list is your first step. And I feel like there's only 2 things that make a podcast great. And that is, you know, uh, an interview, an interview podcast, great. That's your questions, how good your questions are, and how good your guests are. And booking guests is a process. Trust me, it's a process, but I've simplified it and it's going to be so streamlined. I have a 10-step program. I have templates. I have everything you need. I hold your hand every step of the way. I have a content concierge and I also have a production manager that'll be working with you. So it's really great. That is the first 4 steps. And then there's the guest wish list. And that's what you get. And then there's the other steps all the way up to 10. So that's what you get when you go on my website right now. If you put in your email list, you will get that. And that's what we have for that. Okay, good. So let's talk about leaning on your gift. I know that some people have a real problem, first of all, in knowing what their gifts are and then leaning on them. So if you don't know what your gifts are, you should sit down and think about what you do really well and what other people think that you do really, really well. If you don't know what your gifts are, that means you are living in fear of that. And living in fear of that is really being second fiddle to your own life. So it's important that you are clear about what your gifts are. So now, those of you who are clear about what your gifts are, but you haven't been able to just live completely your life leaning on your gifts, there may be a few reasons. First one I said is that you might not know what your gifts are. The second one would be that you're not surrounded by people or family that support your gift, right? So for me, my family really supported my gift, and I always surround myself with people who really saw my gift and supported my gift. I think when you live in your gift and you live in your truth of your gift, you really are living in bliss. you're living in God's grace, in my opinion, when you live in your gift. And when you live and breathe in your gift, you are in bliss. Let's go to the presentation. Hold on a second, guys. I got a little presentation for you. Okay. If you have any questions and comments, please put them on and I'll talk about them. Let's see, I love this. I need to hear this 100%. Good. It's a really good subject, you guys. I'm going to blow your mind. So let's talk. Let me just make this a bigger slide. All right, here we go. So when you lean into your gift, it's like this area of bliss. It's like almost you're in the zone. It's like being in the zone. Hold on a second, being in the zone. Let me show you this in the zone. So it's almost like, it's like just living in this bliss and leaning on your gift. It's like your expertise. It's like your zone of genius. So it's a path that you already know. And it's almost like you're in God's hands. You're like living in God's grace. And that's why leaning on your gifts is so important. There's another reason it's so important. I'm going to quote a Bible quote here. First Peter chapter 4. I don't want to get too woo-woo on you, but chapter 4, verse 10 through 11. I'm not going to read the whole thing. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another. We're actually instructed to use it by the big guy as stewards of God's very grace. Leaning into your gift is really living in the palm of God's hands. It's so magical. And the way you lean on your gifts is to first recognize what those gifts are, point to it, and say, I want to do that day and night. Practicing and being a steward, a craftsman of that gift till you sharpen it and sharpen it and practice and practice. And we're going to talk about how you can do that and go into your gift full time where you're living in your expertise. Leaning on your gift is probably the most amazing thing because when you practice and practice, you get to the other side of growth where you have sharpened your gift. You soar like an eagle. You really, 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 really do. You feel like you can fly. That's what your gift does for you. When you are living in that cusp of your gift, it is like a flow. There's a flow. Now, before the flow, there's a little bit of friction. We'll talk about that. There's just a little bit, not much. I'll say not much. There's different things. I want to put up another slide here. There's different things you can develop to be in that zone. So let me. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit finding my. Oh, here it is. So I want to show you this chart about finding your zone, your place of genius. Let me show you this slide. Let's see. Stop the screen for a second, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. How's everybody's day today? Do you have a good day or a bad day? Bad days are not good. Okay, let me see if I can show my screen. Hold on, guys. Gotta share my screen. So you're in the zone when you are really feeling the magic of your gift and you've practiced and practiced and you're in the zone. But there's a way to get to in the zone. Let me share this screen. There's a way to get in the zone and a way not to get in the zone. Let's see if I have this. Share screen. What am I sharing? Cover fear. Okay, I got it. Here it is. Okay, so this is good, you guys. So there's a way to get in the zone. And here is what I want to talk about. Let me make sure I'm on the right screen. Hold on, guys. I just got to check, double check. Okay, I'm on the right screen. So you have the comfort zone here. See that middle, that comfort zone right there? It feels familiar. Your comfort zone, your everyday life. When you're not living in the gift, it's like your everyday life, like you feel in the comfort zone. You feel safe. You feel like you're in control. That's the comfort zone. So to be in your gift and all of its glory, like some great athletes, if you see an Olympic athlete, they go through these phases of bliss and giftedness. So when you in your comfort zone, you're in a place of complacency, and it's right before fear. Fear is after that. So once you start moving out of your comfort zone and developing your gift, what the next phase is the fear zone. You're going to be affected by other people's opinion because you're practicing your gift. You're trying to like perform, you're trying to sing, you're trying to dance, whatever it is, and you're super reactive. You feel sensitive to criticism. That is the next zone of of getting into the zone. That's the next zone of your giftedness, right? Is you're stepping out, you're starting to practice to sing, you're starting to practice to dance, you're starting to practice to do your on-camera visibility, your podcast. And you're in the fear zone. You find excuses some days not to do it. Did you ever feel like that? Do you ever find excuses not to do it? You feel like you lack confidence because you're just starting out. You're starting to learn the singing, the dancing, the podcasting, the thing that is stretching you, right? So that's that first phase of it. So one of the things you have to do is just get through that fear phase and show up. Basically, your job in that first zone is to show up. Then you go into the learning zone. As you can see right here, we go into the learning zone. And in the learning zone, you're starting to acquire those new skills. They're starting to stick. There's no ego. Like your ego was in the fear zone and the comfort zone, but in the learning zone, you're in humility. You're developing your talent. You're developing your skills. So you're in the no ego zone, total child of God. Humility is where we learn the most. And that's the area where your skill is just being developed like big time. So it's good to feel that discomfort of the fear zone and know that you're headed to the learning zone. Once you're in the learning zone, you're going to feel so open. You're going to be learning so many things. There's no ego because you're learning, you're a student. Um, God says his people are in the lowest, we're in their lowest point where there's no ego, there's humility, only looking up to God for service as a servant. So that's where the learning zone is. If you think about when you learn something, you're in the servant mode. You're like, teach me. You're expanding your comfort zone. You're going through fear and then in the learning zone. The learning zone is right before the growth zone. So your learning zone is expanding your comfort zone and it's embracing and it's making hold on a second, guys. Let me close this. This is where you make mistakes, where you're embracing making mistakes because that is sharpening your skill. It's sharpening your tenacity. So this is where your gift grows and is developing. You're contributing and depositing in your gift. This is where you deal with challenges and problems in the learning zone. And that's where you sharpen your gift, where like Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, all of them used to watch themselves back. They used to study themselves in humility of learning more and growing every day because they wanted to be the best. The last zone is the growth zone. This is where you start to realize your genius. So don't forget when you're podcasting, when you're first visible on camera, when you're doing video, when you're doing a play, when you're writing or directing, or you're going into another area that you want this so bad, but you need to get the skills and hone them. Just know that you've you're coming from the comfort zone to the fear zone to the learning zone to the growth zone. Once you get to the growth zone, this is where you embrace uncertainty because you already are developing the skills. You already been showing up. Since comfort zone, you've been showing up every day, hitting the gym, hitting the dance rehearsals, writing, developing your writing, studying, watching other people, watching yourself back. You're embracing uncertainty. You set new goals because you've already reached some of the pinnacles of your skill, and then you're conquering objectives. You're growing in your gift. So, this is what leaning in your gift is. And when you're not leaning in your gift, you're not in that zone of genius and that zone of growth. Growth is what puts you forward, growth is what advances you. If you've been stagnant for 5 to 6 years, 7, sometimes 10, it's because you've been living in fear. You've been living in the comfort zone and watching everybody else. Aren't you tired of watching everybody else do podcasts? Aren't you tired of watching everybody else like be a director and do the things that you know that you could do? That's being in the comfort and the fear zone. Once you're in your zone, and I know you've experienced this, I know you've been in your flow, whether you play basketball or you've done a great dance performance or a great speech, or you're really good at your job, even if you're really good at doing something at your job and boom, you feel like $1,000,000. That's the growth zone, and you're getting new goals to conquer them. The growth zone, you're living in your values. That's amazing. When you can live in your values, that is living in bliss. When you're in the growth zone, you also find your purpose. What is better than finding your purpose? I mean, I don't think there is anything better than that. When you feel purposeful, you feel you're in flow and you feel the grace of God, really. You really do. You're living your dreams. And I've been lucky enough to do that. But I had to go through comfort zone, fear zone, learning zone. Then I got to the growth zone, which was the ultimate zone of all. There's a lot of zones to go through to be an expert, a genius in your field. Think about Michael Jordan at 14. He would practice his foul shots over and over again while the other kids would go out and play. He kept practicing his foul shot over and over again, and he used to videotape himself. He videotape, obviously watched the games, every game he played in high school. Afterwards, he would watch it and study it. Mike Tyson did the same thing, and so did Michael Jackson. After every routine, he would study how he did. My day is going great. And then I know Los Angeles is so sunny and fabulous. Isn't it great? It's the best to live in LA and California. It's so beautiful. So you're living in this growth zone. That's when you're living in your genius. And that's when leaning on your gifts is so important. Let me go back to this slide. See if I have my slides here or no. Hold on, guys. Think I have to put in another slide. Okay. Let me get the eagle slide. Hold on. Where is that slide? I have to find it. All right, so it's pulling up now. So are you guys getting this? So when you're in your comfort zone, you're not really creating anything. So creativity belongs in the growth zone. So when you're creative, it's still blissful, but being creative, let me add this to the stage. Leaning on your gifts and being creative is a place of bliss, like the eagle. You feel no friction, there's just flow. Life is great. And you are living in and leaning on your gifts. So, this is a book by Mary Ann Radmacher, and she talks about leaning forward into your life, leaning on your gift, lean forward into your life. Listen hard. Part of that is listening. In your learning phase and growth phase of leaning on your gift, you are listening. It is one of the most important skills of podcasting, actually. Listening, acting, it's listening. If you're on the basketball court, it's listening. If you're on a tennis court, you have to hear that bounce of the ball. That's why they keep it quiet on a tennis court, because the players need to hear the bounce of the ball. And when they don't hear it, it throws them off. Listening is really important, and listening hard develops your skill into greatness. Live with intention. When you're living and leaning in your gift, you're living with true intention. And when you live with true intention, you flow. There's nobody ahead of you. It's like you just flow into the highway. You're just driving and cruising down a highway, and there's nothing in front of you. You feel confidence that's unbreakable. Really is. I really lived this kind of life when I went on my auditions. I really leaned on my gift. And when you're feeling fearful, think about your gift and go spend time with your gift. I'm telling you, it's going to relieve your fear, get your confidence back. Even when you're debating someone and they're trying to make you feel fearful. I had a conversation today on the phone, and the person was trying to make me feel fearful. It was a government agency, of course, and they were really not good at their job. They were like a fear monger. You ever heard that word, fear monger? They were trying to make me feel fearful because they were like almost like like it was weird. It was just they were just on something, like on it, like ego was driving them. But when you live in intention, those kind of people don't affect you. I went right back to her and I said, yeah, but this is that, and this and this and that. I understand. It's okay. And she was so surprised that I didn't really have pushback. I was firm, but I didn't have a pushback. I didn't have a fight because I'm in my intention and she's in living in fear. She's trying to fearmonger me. And I was not in that place. I've been in that place before where I would answer the person back and like start arguing, but I'm not in that place now, and I haven't been in a long time. So living in intention starts to create when you have it inside of you. And I have internal Fridays. I'm going to do internal Fridays on tomorrow. I know I've been promising you guys that I'm going to do it every Friday, but I've been really working hard on my online program and my website and things like that. So I've been so busy, but I am starting again Friday, and I'm committed to every Friday to do internal Fridays. I will probably be on either 1 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I'm testing different times, you guys. I know it's like almost 5 now, and I started around around four something. I'm testing different times, and that's why I tell my broadcasters to. There's a season of testing your gift, right? There's a season of living your gift, and then there's a season of testing it, and that's living in fear too. Like I'm fearful, like I'm not like flawless. I'm in the growth period of this podcast and doing lives, but I've done this before. I'm a professional. I know what's up, and I know most of the people come on the replays. It's about building it at first, and also keeping the same time, same channel every time. But in that growth period, I love this chart because it really shows us that the road from comfort zone to growth zone to where your genius is, it's a couple of phases that people don't realize that they go through when they learn something. And you've got to be graceful to yourself. You got to give yourself a break and be graceful to yourself and be kind to yourself. So that is the phases that we go through when you lean on your gift. And leaning on your gift is so vital to performance, to bliss, to feeling good about yourself and living your ultimate life. It really is your calling. I mean, people ask me, how did you become a host? How did you become an actress? I was called. And you know what? I answered the call. Some people don't answer the call. Some people do not answer the call. You know, when you don't answer the call, you're not brought to the heights of heaven that God has for you. He really has great heights for you. And I feel like when I flowed, I went to great heights. But when I stopped the flow, that's when it just stopped. And I watched everybody else go past me. And it's happened to me. So think about your gift and how you can begin to live and lean on your gift. Let's see, I will listen and watch on Friday. Yeah, there's internal Fridays we're going to do because you need to change internally in order to grow and be visible. There's a lot of visible wounds that people have when they want to do their podcast or they want to be on camera or they want to be a director. If they any endeavor that you want to be, there's a certain amount of comfort, fear, learning, and growth that has to happen in order for you to be in your zone. I mean, being in the zone is the ultimate, right? It's the ultimate. Um, and on Fridays, I talk about tactics, and I'm still doing which days I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to do this either Mondays or Tuesdays. I didn't figure it out yet. Wednesdays I'm going to do interviews. I'm going to always have an interview on Wednesdays. I had an interview yesterday. If you guys didn't catch that, that was a chef, a girl who really leaned on her skills, leaned on her gift. Her name is Gigi Dubois. She was on MasterChef. So go back. It's on my website somewhere. And she really leaned on her skills. And she was one of my former broadcasters and started with nothing really. Um, and literally in a few years, we blew up her YouTube channel and everything. So she got sponsorship deals, production deals, and now she's in her second book, been on MasterChef. Really, really great story if you want to see the video. She really leaned on her skill, on her gift. If you have any questions, give me some questions. I'm going to be looking for this one thing I wanted to show you guys. It is, let's see if I can find it. If you guys want to ask me any questions, let me know. Okay, so leaning on your gift. Hold on, I'm going to put it in. If you have any questions, good time to ask. And I will be, if you sign up for my website, I will be signing like 6 people for this. I'm going to do a pre-sale. So I'm going to do a beta program for the next 3 months. It's, total 10-step program. We got templates. It's an online course with also back-to-back coaching. There's a content concierge. We have a production manager. We help you every step of the way to like get your interviews. It's really about getting your interviews up and your questions. Podcast is just as good as your interviews and your questions. That's it. Everything else is extra. So there's a lot of rabbit holes. It's really hard to do the podcast. I do it like swimming, like breathing. But when I think about what I have to do, like people think I'm crazy. Like I do pre-interviews. I mean, I work really hard on it. I'm simplified it for you guys because I know you're not going to do pre-interviews. We do a lighter pre-interview, and I know you're going to do this email. So we do like a little text. Like I made everything, the process a lot easier. And you really do need a coach alongside you to hold your hand to get you to the thing. So hopefully in the next week or so, I can sign about 6 people who will go on the journey with me. The program is pretty much set. And I've been doing a beta program this whole year, but I'm doing a second beta group now to refine some of the things. I'm gonna put these glasses on. I didn't really like the way they looked before, but let me see how they look now. Okay. Oh, I look crazy. All right. So let me just read one more thing to you guys. And if you have any questions, let's see if anybody has any questions. No questions. Oh my God, you're so quiet. You guys are so good. So did you ever not lean? Do you know anybody who's not leaning in the gifts? Who's not? Are any of you not leaning on your gifts? Are any of you not living in the power and the grace of your gift? Because we are instructed to use our gifts. And let's talk about why you're not using your gifts. That's a good thing too. Talk about why you're not using your gifts. There's a lot of excuses. Here are some of the excuses. I'm too old. I messed up my life. I have a horrible past. I don't have time. Oh, that's a good one. I don't have time. You don't have time for your gift? You know what's a really good one too, where people like abuse their gift? They being cheap with their gift, not investing in classes, not investing in coaches. That is that I learned early on in New York. Like I invested every time and I got so much momentum. And now I look back on my career, there were so many years I didn't have a coach. And I'm like, wow, I should have had a coach the whole time. I would have been way further along than I am now and would have made a lot more money. So my advice to you, this is free advice, keep a coach with you, keep them with you, go throughout your whole life with coaches. They give you the answers to the test. I mean, there's no reason not to have a coach. I don't have time. God knows I have to pay the bills. I can't start my business. This is the reason people live outside of their gifts and they don't lean on their gifts. I can't start a business. It's too much. I don't have any money. Who listens to me? Who's going to listen to me if I start a podcast? It's too hard. Do you read that? It's too hard. Can anybody relate? Oh my God. I'm trying my hardest. I get too comfortable. That comfort zone, do you see that little comfort zone that feels familiar, feels safe and in control? You got to go into the fear zone, okay, where you feel lack of confidence and you feel a little shitty before you go into the learning zone where you'll feel a little better, um, and you'll be resourceful and you'll be humble. It's the humility. It's also your ego that makes you suffer too. So, what's another reason you don't lean on your gifts? I don't have any support. I don't have an education, right? I beg you, people, you really got to get off these excuses because this is a gift. Your gift and your talent is a straight up from the man upstairs. If you have breath in your lungs, you have to use your gift. You are not listening, right? Because using your gift is listening. You're not listening to the calling. People ask me, how did you do this? How did you become? I listened to the call and I answered it. Did you ever get a calling or a nudging like, oh, you should do that? And you're like so scared to do it because you have to roll up your sleeves. When you get older, like I am, you get like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm too tired. You get really curmudgeon. When you're in your 20s, you kind of have energy to do a lot of stuff. But when you get older like me, so I'm talking to you, all you 40, 50, 60-year olds who are not leaning on their gifts. And when you're in fear, I bet you any amount of money, you are not remembering your gift and you are not leaning on your gift. So we need to give that man upstairs an accounting of how we use our gifts because we are supposed to use our gifts to serve people. We really, really are. Okay. Anybody have questions? Let's see. If you haven't identified your gifts and talents, I can tell you a really quick way. Like if you haven't identified your gifts, your there's other gifts that you may not be aware of, like your friendliness, your quick-wittedness, your comedic, right? Your comedic skill. You know math really well. That's not my gift. Math is not my gift. You braid hair really well. We have gifts everywhere. We need to really recognize that those are gifts in order to hone on one and go, okay, I'm going to make this my ride or die. I'm going to focus all of my energy on this gift. Then the gift grows. But it only grows when you go through, look at the chart, you go through that fear phase and then the learning phase, that innocent phase of learning. All right, guys. If you have any questions about leaning on your gift, have you ever leaned on your gift and it didn't work out? I would love for people to share leaning on their gift and it didn't work out. That would be terrible. Wait, let me think if I leaned on my gift and it didn't work out. Can't say I did. I have auditioned for things where I leaned on my gift and I didn't get the job. But I leaned when I faced those fears, when I faced that rejection and that when I leaned on my gift even more because I practiced and I honed it. I practiced so much my audition technique that I started to have an 80% booking ratio. Um, and when I would walk in the door, I knew the lines backwards and forwards. I would just lift them off the page and I was in the zone. When you're in the zone, nothing, I mean, nothing can stop you. It's like watching magic. It's like, oh, let me show you. It's like it's like being that eagle. You feel like you're flying. You really do. There's no better place than be in your zone, in your gift. No other place. Your gift is going to be honorable to you. The more you practice, the more your gift will bloom and grow. So lean on your gifts, guys. It is so important, especially for visibility. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about visibility. Let's see, let me think. I'm going to do it at 5 tomorrow because I feel like that's a good, comfortable time to do it either at 5 or 1. I'm still playing with times, guys. I did a 10 o'clock in the morning interview. So interviews, I'm definitely going to do it at, I think, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Pacific time. That'll be 1 p.m. New York time. That's going to be on Wednesdays. I just did an interview with a girl who was on the Master Chef. You can look at that on my profile. And if you are thinking about being more visible, branding your visibility in terms of video, thinking about doing a podcast, join me because I'm looking to get 6 people. You're going to join half price. It's a beta program. We have everything 10 steps, 10 templates, a content concierge that is going to help you create and do your content strategy. I will be coaching you every week live on Saturdays. And even if you can't make the Saturdays, we'll work around your schedule. There's a 10-step template. There's also a production manager that helps. Every week we meet for 3 months for 12 weeks, and you will launch your podcast, your interview show, whatever it is. Interviews are the ones that are easy to do because you get to interview people and you don't have to be the only the one man band like I am today. Um, you don't have to, you can actually have a conversation and it's a lot easier to get into the visibility in that way. There's other things I'll do. I'll be like, come on, you can do this. It's about creating a content strategy and it's about being prepared. It really is. Nothing more than that. Okay, that was a mouthful. Woo! On camera conversations, y'all. Does anybody have any questions for me in terms of when you're leaning on your gift, on camera conversations, podcasting, interviewing, how to book a guest? If you want to learn that, just go get my download. It's a video download. You can stop it and take notes. I didn't want to do it like a paper handout. I thought that was so cool to do a video handout. I really love it. I actually made that on one on Canva. It's beautiful. I really like it. I like my own stuff. Anybody have any questions about leaning on your gift, not leaning on your gift, being on podcast, being afraid and to do anything visible on social media? What holds you back? What has held you back? Let me see. Hold on, guys. There's a lot of dinging. Who's dinging? Anything, guys? Let's see if we have any questions. Oh, thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Okay, I'm just checking my Facebook because I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments. It's like a lot going on with podcasts. You really need somebody kind of to hold your hand. Okay, comments. Let's see. You really need somebody kind of to hold your hand. Oh, did you hear me? Okay. So I'm not missing any comments. If you don't have any comments to make, listen, guys, lean on your gift. It is the greatest thing because it comes directly from divine intervention. I have lived the life of living my gift. I mean, I lived it to the fullest, and I'm continuing to lean on those gifts. I have to say, I am not immune to not leaning on my gifts. I checked out for a few years. I went through a little bit of a depression when my mom died, and I wasn't leaning on my gift. You can lean on your gift, especially when you're feeling fearful or you're feeling mournful. Some people tend to push their gift away. No, 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 no. You got to bring the gift in, bring it in. Whether it's to play basketball, jump rope, running, um, crocheting, writing, singing, tap dancing, riding a bicycle, riding a car, driving a car, race car driving, any of those things that require for your whole body to be in its gift. So, podcasting is whole body speaking. You're thinking with your brain and it's connected to your body, and then it comes out of your mouth. So, it's a connection of mind, mouth, and body. That is what podcasting is. And your podcast is only as good as your guests and the questions. Those are the two things that make a podcast great. So, guys, go to my website, sign up, get the handout, the video handout, and I will be doing a video on that next week on Monday. I'll probably do it on Monday with the handout. We're going to go through the 10 steps of how to book a great guest. There's a way to book celebrities. There's a way to really start to fill your calendar with booking great guests. And there's a format of how to come up with the questions and stuff. So, but we're going to go over how to book great guests on Monday. I think I'm doing it on Monday, or should I do it on Tuesday? I think Monday, because then Wednesday I have the interviews. Wednesday I'm going to do interviews, and then Friday. So it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's good. That's like nice. Monday, Wednesday, it's kind of even. Fridays, we're going to do internal Fridays. It's about changing yourself internally to be on camera, to do this gift, this. So think of, why don't we write things down? Let's do that. I'm going to write down that I'm going to contribute to my gift this weekend. And I want you to write down this too. I want you to write down how you're going to contribute to your gift. So let's see. Number one, what am I going to do for my gift? Today I'm doing this. This is part of my gift, is doing these lives, right? So I contributed today. Friday, I'm going to contribute by doing the internal Friday. That's contributing to my gift. So any sort of practice, investment, even taking a walk, going to the movies, if you need to study your gift as an actor or as a director or as a visual artist or just as a person, that's investing in your gift. That is feeding your gift. And it's important. It's a godly act because he instructs us to serve with our gifts. He gave us a gift that we can nurture so that we can serve people. So, number one, I am going to do internal Fridays. What else can I do? Saturday, I'm teaching a class. That's using my gift. And then Monday, me being committed to these lives is using my gift. And developing and finishing my program. Thank you guys for spending time with me. I love spending this time with you on Facebook. I love getting to know everybody on Facebook. So many talented people on here. Don't worry about how many people are on here or not on here, because this goes out afterwards and so many people see it. It's really fantastic. So many people see it. And once I settle on a same time, same channel kind of thing, we'll get more people. But it's not about that. Honestly, you can make money with 5 people on your list. It's really about quality and quantity and knowing who you are and who you serve, and that you're there to serve. Thank you for joining me, guys. I will be here on Friday for Internal Fridays. Please forgive me. I'm trying to think. I probably do it at 5. I got to settle on the 5. Okay, so you guys vote. So here's the vote. Whether you're seeing the hashtag live, hashtag replay, what you're watching first, right? I need you guys to comment, because that puts the video out in the algorithm. So if you want to show me love, you comment on, on DeAndre, is that your name? DeAndre, right? He's been commenting forever, so he's great. I want you other mofos to comment, especially if you're watching the replay. Comment and let me know. Let me know when you were leaning on your gift and what manifested from that. When you first started to practice something or you recognized something and you practiced it a little bit, what happened right after you started to practice it? Because that's the level, that's the fear cycle. Remember this fear zone? I'd like you to tell me, when you got out of the fear zone into the learning zone, what was it that you did? Were you tap dancing? Were you singing? Write down your memory of that. And also write down, let me know what time you think it would be best to have my podcast, Let's Talk on Camera with Idalis, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., or 5 p.m. 10 a.m. I think I'm going to do 10 a.m. for the interviews because they're a lot of work and it's good to be done early. And on Wednesdays, and you can go see the interview I just did Wednesday with Gigi Eats Celebrity. Gigi Eats Celebrities was the name of her YouTube channel. She's on my Facebook profile. And let me know which time do you think is best for this podcast. That's it, guys. I really want you guys to start commenting and saying stuff so we can put it on the algorithm. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.